Okay, it is 8:02 p.m. on Monday, September 27th. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So Terry's not here.
All right, so roll call. Mr. Mauer is here, Ms. Martin is here, Vice Chairman Lapellis is here. I am here, Jonathan Kell is here, Donaldin Wales is here, and Mr. Reed is here, Ms. Aguilar, Mr. Rooney, and Mr. O'Rourke are absent this evening. Ms. Martin, I believe we have a very special guest this evening. Would you introduce her?
We do. I think most have met, but this is Alexa Sullivan. Alexa is a senior at Massac High School, interested in government, and she's going to do her capstone project with me. So, full disclosure, Alexis was one of my gingerbread students a long time ago. So I'm excited to have her here, so please behave yourself. Okay?
We will always try to do that.
You talking to us or her?
No, I was talking to you.
Mostly.
Mostly Enid, yeah.
Well, welcome, Alexis. It's very nice having you. Hopefully won't worry you too much tonight. So I am going to pass the consent calendar unless there is an objection. Hearing no objection, I am passing the consent calendar as presented. I will ask that communications letters A through N be incorporated into the minutes of our meeting tonight. Part 5, public participation. Are there any members of the public? I will begin with those here in the room first. Is there any member of the public that would like to participate this evening? Seeing none, I will go to our digital platform. Is there any member of the public that is here through our GoToMeeting setup that would like to participate, either by phone or by their computer? One more time, is there any member of the public that would like to participate at this time that is here either by phone or digitally? Seeing and hearing none, I'm going to close public participation. Appointments. A, Resolution 21-126, to consider and act upon a resolution regarding the appointment of Donald Coniff of 7 Georges Lane to the Commission of Aging with term ending July 2nd, 2024. Ms. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would ask this council's approval for the appointment of Donald Coniff, 7 Georges Lane, to the Commission for the Aging for a term ending July 2nd, 2024.
Ms. Martin with the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Lapellis. Discussion, Ms. Martin.
Mr. Coniff has lived in Monroe for 45 years with his wife and 2 sons. He's a former high school educator, adjunct professor, and a business owner. Donald is also a past president of the Monroe Rotary Club and previously served on the Board of Ethics. Asking for it to be on this evening's agenda, and it fills a vacancy created by the resignation of Margaret Brennan.
Thank you very much, Ms. Martin. Is there any other discussion on the nomination of Donald Coniff Aging? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a vote on this nomination of Donald Coniff to the Commission of Aging. Please, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Hearing no nays, this motion passes 6-0. Thank you, Ms. Martin.
Mr. Chairman.
Action items, Town Council Committee on Finance, Education, Health, and Public Safety Matters. Vice Chairman Lapellis.
We will be having a meeting tomorrow night at 6 p.m. to discuss possible tax abatements. It's all done through FEPS.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice Chair.
Before we move on, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Just one question, if I may, through the chair. Do we know who the council liaison for Commission on Aging presently is?
Helmut Chartier.
Who the chair, who the,
Council liaison.
it is,
Oh, council.
by charter, it is the chair of the town council.
There you go.
I just bring it up because I was talking to a couple of the commissioners who raised concern that there hadn't been a liaison present. So they were hoping that they would be able to see a liaison at some of the meetings to be able to bring stuff to town council directly.
Sure. Thank you. We're going to go on to B, Town Council Committee on Planning, Zoning, Public Works and Parks and Recreation Matters. Mr. Rooney is not here this evening. He did not have a report for Planning, Zoning, Public Works, and Park Recreation. Ms. Martin, did you have
Just a brief
something?
comment that Park and Rec, I think, is meeting next Monday.
Next
So I'll have a report after that.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Martin. Town Council Committee on Legislative and Administrative Matters, Mr. Reed.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chairman. We did meet tonight before council. We went over 5 areas of new business, all of which fell onto our agenda somehow tonight, whether it be in the consent calendar or as an agenda item. It was the 2022 Distracted Driving High Visibility Grant. We've seen that before. All of these, by the way, passed to get up to us tonight. The other is Connecticut Food Bank, the TEFAP Agreement for Distribution and Utilization, Connecticut Food Bank Delivery Agreement, revisions to various job descriptions, as well as the AON Company LLC Auditor Engagement Letter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Reed. Mr. O'Rourke did give a brief update to me regarding the Strategic Planning Committee. They are working on an October 6th meeting date at this time.
I think that's been confirmed.
It is confirmed.
I believe
No,
so.
we're waiting on one more participant to confirm.
Okay.
That's, I owe Sean, it's one more person has to. You're correct, that Sean, yeah.
One more.
Yeah, there's one of the participants that was gonna go to SBC on one of the items there has to confirm still for the 6th, but.
Since our last meeting, Mr. Rooney already reported on that. There is no update on the EMS building besides the groundbreaking ceremony, which happened just recently. Open Space Preservation Acquisition Committee that has not met since our last council. And finally, G, the first selectman's update.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilmember Wales is passing those down. So I just had one thing I wanted to update the council on tonight, and the public for that matter, is the Pepper Street reconstruction project update. As you know, this is a project that's been a very long time incoming project that's been on the books for many, many years. We're obviously well under construction, and folks have probably seen some changes over time there. So I want to give an update. Again, this is a large project, over $7 million project, which we're getting funded primarily through federal and state grant funds. There have been challenges ongoing with this project. Most recently, what has been the source of the delays is due to utility company work. There are an extensive number of overhead and underground utilities throughout this project, all that require relocation. So that's poles that need to be moved, and then all the wiring for each company has to be moved after that's done. There's underground drainage, there's water lines, gas lines have been particularly challenging. And as they've gotten into it, there's been further unforeseen issues. One of the items that does come up is that while the utility companies are part of the planning and the scheduling of the work, they're not necessarily bound to our schedule. I'm not suggesting that they're not working with us, but they are not, they're not formally part of the DOT's approval of the project. So they are required to move their utilities, but they're not, they're not part of the, they're not receiving any of the funding that's coming from the feds or the state for the project, and they're not necessarily bound by our schedules. So that has played into it a little bit. There's been some, as I said, unforeseen things as they've gotten underground. They found conditions that might have varied from what was anticipated. There have been some pandemic-related supply chain issues, and there have been some staffing challenges due to the pandemic earlier on in the project as well. I've had many conversations with the project team. We've had a lot of conversations with utility companies, Eversource in particular, at very high levels, as well as DOT, to continue to move the project forward and emphasize the importance of it. We did receive a commitment to focus on basically catching up on the utility work over the past summer, which I'm pleased to say that it appears that we've gotten where we hoped we would get over the summer. Over 90% of those utility relocations are now complete. Today, I met with the project team so we could focus on making as much progress as possible before the winter. There's been significant, there will be significant drainage and roadwork improvements that will start the week of October 4th. There's going to be excavating of the roadway, particularly the area that has to be, where the grade has to be reduced. There's going to be road widening to the new design. There's going to be installation of new gravel. And then eventually there will be a base course of pavement and new curbing that will be put on those sections that are being worked on. During that time, there's going to be a lot of activity. There's going to be lane shifting. There's going to definitely be some travel delays. There's going to be sections of the roadway that will be gravel for a few weeks before that base coat of pavement can be put down. However, we are all working towards the understanding is that the roadway will need to have clean pavement for the winter. So we will be getting a base coat of pavement on those sections that are basically where the design work has been completed. There will be other sections that will just get probably a light coating of paving over it, just to make the roadway surface smooth and plowable over the winter. Once we get out of the winter season, they will resume there's another section of the roadway that will have to be realigned. There'll be some temporary roads that they have to take those down and connect them to the new roadway. The final base coat of pavement, so even the sections that are going to get a base coat before the winter, that won't be the final coat. There will be another coat, a final coat that will be put on after that. The trail work will have to be done as well, and that is all currently planned for the spring of 22. So my message is that it is going to get a little bit worse before it gets better, but this is all towards the final product. So you will see a lot of activity there, which will be, it'll be obvious that we're in the middle of a major reconstruction and pavement project. So that's the update.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kella. I saw Ms. Martin's hand first, so.
Actually, that's okay, thank you.
Hmm.
Mr. Kellogg,
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, we talked about if you had any update on the TPA for the park.
Yeah, I think I reported at the time that I was waiting for an update from the team on how. So I would say the short answer is I think TPA's got some more work to do. I didn't feel like what they had done was right for consideration yet. I don't think it was enough
design-wise?
No, enough information to make any kind of to finalize a decision point, particularly on the access pathway.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, I mean, certainly it was my expectation, I think others in this room expectation as well, that we'd have, a decent amount of data to go on in terms of, making that
So
decision.
are you comfortable with me next Monday then reporting to Park and Rec that it's still a work in progress?
Absolutely, I would expect Missy to be delivering that message anyway, but can certainly feel free to. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly nothing's been decided because we have nothing, we don't have enough.
So in your opinion, there was not enough detail on what,
They started, yes, they did some analysis, they put some work together, but I didn't think it was, I didn't think it was fully fleshed out.
all right,
I would like to see.
right, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Mauer?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Selectman. One question on the Pepper Street reconstruction. After they do the base paint before winter, will they be marking the road and with driving lanes, or is that going to be without lanes for throughout the winter?
I would need to ask I got to follow up beyond that one. I mean, it's a good question, makes sense. I would certainly hope that it would probably be temporary, it wouldn't be for obvious reasons, but it would make sense that they would be, but I'll verify that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kellogg. Our action items are for the evening. We have no matters of unfinished business. Matter number 9, public hearing, commercial tax abatement, 500 Pepper Street, pursuant to our town charter and town code. I call this public hearing and cause it to be open at this time regarding the commercial tax abatement for the property located at 500 Pepper Street. First, I'm going to throw this item over to Mr. Kellogg to open the public hearing and give us a little bit more information.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I outlined briefly in my cover memo, you're obviously all aware that there's that a commercial tax abatement was received pursuant to our code for a commercial tax abatement at 500 Pepper Street. That is the Karuba business. There is pursuant to the code, there's the process that we currently follow, although I'll just footnote that I'm hoping we'll be changing this in the near future, but the current process is that the abatements are after a certificate of occupancy is granted. So that application was received in the timeframes subsequent to the CO being issued, the final CO being issued. It then goes to the Tax Incentive Program Review Committee, which did meet on it. That committee's minutes are attached. They essentially determined that the application was in order, that it met the requirements, and then they went through their process to propose an abatement schedule. From there, I'll come back to that. But from there, the application is then forwarded with that committee's recommendation to LNA, which was also done. LNA having completed and actually recommending the same abatement schedule. Now you have 60 days from the time it appears on the first regular agenda, which would be tonight, to hold a public hearing and then act upon it. So with that said, I just wanted to say, again, my thanks to that committee, which consists of myself, the finance director, assessor, and our chair of our Economic Development Commission, which I believe are either online or in the audience. I think, in evaluating the ordinance as it's currently written, based upon the application and the level of investment that was done, which was confirmed by the assessor, allows for up to 20% of the increased assessment amount. for a period of 5 to 7 years. So it would be minimum of 5, maximum of 7. Again, the assessor represented that the cost of improvements were consistent with that increased assessed value. The committee basically reviewed abatements that were awarded by council in the past and wanted to come up with an abatement schedule that would provide a comparable economic benefit for the applicant that was based on similar commercial construction. So based upon that, the recommendation was made by that committee for a 20% abatement of the increased assessment for years 1, 2, and 3, and a 15% abatement of the increased assessment for years 4 and 5. That's really, with that, obviously I just also want to just say for the record that we thank Karuba for opening here in town. They've been a great addition to our town, and we welcome them. I believe there is, I know there is a representative from the applicant here as well, Mr. Chairman, if you'd like to entertain some comments from him as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kellogg. Given this is a public hearing, if the applicant would like to speak at that time,
Sure.
he can. If he doesn't, just please step up to the microphone and just your name and address. Say whatever you'd like.
Yeah, my name's Larry Lemieux. I'm the CFO for Karuba Incorporated. Address is 500 Pepper Street. We opened up, we moved in there January 1st. We currently have about 35 employees working in the facility. We have another manufacturing facility in Milford right now that is about 17,000 square feet. Our Monroe facility is about 43,000. We plan on moving the majority of our employees to Monroe. We hope to have that done by the end of the year. That will be, we estimate there'll be between 75 and 80 people working in the building at that time. We provide services, we make flavors and fragrances for all types of companies, everybody from very large companies, Procter & Gamble on down to relatively small, for every kind of product you can imagine. We also just recently purchased property at 571 Pepper Street. And our plan now is to build, we're working with Kevin Stoley, putting together plans to build a storage, a warehouse facility there. We currently store product in 4 or 5 varied locations around Milford. We want to consolidate all of that under one roof. Having it close to our existing facility will be very helpful. So again, we have a commitment to the town. That other building is going to be between 20 and 30,000 square feet. That's the plan at this point. Probably won't be many employees in that building. It's going to be more of a storage facility for us. We also have in Newtown, we have a farm that we're going to be starting now to grow some products that we'll be using internally. So again, we're in the area, we're here to stay, we're committed to it. We really appreciate the help that all you folks have given us along the way, kind of guided me through the process of how to apply for this. It's quite honestly, it was new to me. Next time around, I think now we understand a little better. My understanding is it might change anyway, but again, we do appreciate it. So I don't know if you guys have any questions for me about what we do or what we plan on doing, or.
So what kind of fragrances, like the perfumes?
It's a very small part. We specialize in what we call botanicals, which are natural fragrances. So the traditional perfumes that you know are made up of various chemicals. And we do that. That's a part of what we do. That's kind of how the company started doing that. But now the demand is for natural fragrances. That's one of the reasons why we have a farm in Georgia, and we're going to have another farm up here in Newtown.
So like lavender and
Anything you can imagine, and quite honestly, herbs, various plants that you wouldn't even recognize the name of. But everybody wants natural, no animal testing, sustainable farm, fair trade. That's what our customers are looking for. And that's kind of the niche that we feel we fit into really well. We're small enough that we can react to those things below we are, yet we are large enough so that we can satisfy fairly large customers. Yeah.
When I was younger, everyone used patchouli.
Yes, that's one of the products that we use in some of the stuff, yeah. But again, the big push now, I would say probably 75 to 80% of what we do are natural fragrances. And flavorings, we do some flavorings too. So, but natural is the big push.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any members of the public that would like to participate during this public hearing portion of our meeting? No one here. Is there anyone online that would like to participate at this point for the public hearing on the commercial tax abatement on 500 Pepper Street? Please remember to unmute your microphone if you would like to participate. One more time, if you'd like to publicly participate during this public hearing on the commercial tax abatement for 500 Pepper Street, please unmute your microphone and speak now. Hearing none, and no one else wants to participate, I am going to close this public hearing at 8:28 p.m. All right. New business. Item A, acceptance of the following donations that individually exceed $1,500. $3,500 from Anne Marie and Ben Maini for the food pantry. $2,100 from Robert and Julie
McLenithan. Yep.
For the purchase and installation of a bench at Wolf Park in memory of Scott Ryan McLenithan. Is there a motion to accept these donations?
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Lapellis. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Ms. Martin. Discussion. Mr. Kellogg?
No discussion other than our thanks, obviously, to the Maianis for that generous donation. And obviously, we welcome, as we have in the past, these donations for individuals to purchase memorial benches in the park. And we're grateful for their donation and happy that we can honor the memory of their family.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kellogg. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'm going to call a vote on the acceptance of the donations listed below. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Reed? I have not heard from Mr. Reed. This passes 5-0. Item B, Resolution 21-127, to consider and act upon a resolution regarding commercial tax abatement 500 Pepper Street. This is the item that we just had the public hearing on. And before we have a motion on this, is there any, we'll have a little bit of discussion beforehand. First, as the first selectman did say, this did pass through the Tax Incentive Program Review Committee and the Town's Council's Legislative and Administrative Committee. Both recommended the same schedule, 20% off assessed improvement year 1, 20% off assessed improvement for year 2, 20% off for assessed improvement year 3, 15% off assessed improvement for year 4, and 15% off assessed improvement in year 5. My understanding is that these recommendations were unanimous for both committees to recommend those schedules. If there is not an objection or any changes to this, I'll ask for a motion to approve said schedule.
Motion.
Hearing none. Madam Vice Chair, do we have a motion?
Yes, we do. I move that the Town Council adopt Resolution 21-127. Resolved that the Town Council hereby makes the following determination in regard to the commercial tax abatement application for 500 Pepper Street. the town council adopts the abatement schedule recommended by the Tax Incentive Program Review Committee and the town council L&A Committee. Year 1, 20%, year 2, 20%, year 3, 20%, year 4, 15%, and year 5, 15%.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Donaldin Wales. Discussion, we had a public hearing on this. Does anyone have any more discussion on this item? Mr. Mauer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just adding to the LNA, as it said, it did go through. One of the things that we did discuss, both with the applicant as well as with officials of the town, was the rationale for the breakdown being what it is with 2020, 2015, 15. I know as council members, we've seen others where we've had 30, 20, 10, and different amounts of years. And the town officials were nice enough to explain the formula that was utilized, in that it's actually within our regulations that depending on the property value is how many years it can be. And basically these percentages were used to make it fairly even as to the overall percentage for the property, as the ones that are over 3 years versus the ones that are over 5 years, that it evens out to be approximately the same abatement as those other properties, which is why we end up with the 2020, 2015, 15, which is why one of the major reasons LNA felt that this was the proper way of sending it over at that same recommendation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mauer. Is there any other discussion on this item? Hearing no other discussion, I will call for a vote on this item. All those in favor of passing Resolution 21-127, which includes the table recommended by LNA as well as the Tax Incentive Program Review Committee. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those against, please say nay. Mr. Reed, do you have a vote? Mr. Reed? Please unmute your microphone. All right, Mr. Reed is not here for the vote. This passes 5-0. Item C, Resolution 21-128. Consider and act upon a resolution regarding the Connecticut Food Bank TEFAP agreement for distribution and utilization of USDA foods. Madam Vice Chair.
I move that the town council adopt resolution 21-128. Resolved that Kenneth M. Kellogg, first selectman of the town of Monroe, is authorized to execute and deliver on behalf of the town of Monroe the Emergency Food Assistance Program, known as TEFAP, Agreement for Distribution and Utilization of USDA Foods, and any associated documents by and between the Connecticut Food Bank for distribution of TEFAP products, and the Monroe Food Pantry.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Donaldin Wales. Discussion, Mr. Kellogg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the Connecticut Food Bank recently merged operations with Food Share. They're in the process of going through and redoing a lot of their existing agreements with all the agencies that they support. As I'm sure you know, the town's food pantry has an existing relationship with the Connecticut Food Bank. This program that's referenced here is a program that directly helps our food pantry and provides significant emergency food assistance at no cost. I've been told by the food bank that the majority of the food that we receive from the food bank is through this program, or a significant portion of it. It is an agreement that our Director of Community and Social Services, Kim Cassia, has reviewed and said that we are operationally able to comply with, and it's been reviewed by the town attorney, and you have his letter of opinion as well. So I'd ask that we move this forward so we can continue this valuable relationship with the food bank.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kellogg. Is there any other discussion on this item? Hearing no other discussion, I'm going to call for a vote on the approval of Resolution 21-128. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Mr. Repeat, aye. This motion passes 6-0. Item D, Resolution 21-129, to consider and act upon a resolution regarding the Connecticut Food Bank Delivery Agreement. Madam Vice Chair.
I move that the town council adopt resolution 21-129. Resolved that Kenneth M. Kellogg, first selectman of the town of Monroe, is authorized to execute and deliver on behalf of the town of Monroe the delivery agreement and any associated documents by and between the Connecticut Food Bank for delivery of food to the Monroe Food Pantry.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Mauer. Discussion, Mr. Kellogg.
Thank you again. So the second agreement with the Connecticut Food Bank, this is obviously a simple one-page agreement relative to delivery of products from the food bank and just the terms that we agree to in regards to those deliveries. We often will pick up food ourselves. However, there are times where we may need to deliver it, and we obviously want to avail ourselves of this as well. Again, you have our town attorney's letter of opinion attached, and we have no concerns in terms of the operations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kellogg. Is there any other discussion on this item? Hearing no other discussion, I'm going to call for a vote on approval of Resolution 21-129. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those against, please say nay. This motion passes 6-0. Item E, Resolution 21-130, to consider and act upon a resolution regarding revisions to various job descriptions. Madam Vice Chair.
I move that the town council adopt resolution 21-130. Resolved that the town council hereby approves the following updates to job descriptions and authorizes the first selectman to implement each revised job description on an individual basis as soon as practical. Head of Circulation Services, previously titled Library Assistant, Adult Children's Library Assistant, previously titled Library Technical Assistant, Children's Room. Head of Technical Services, previously titled Library Technical Assistant, Technical Services Data.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice Chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Mauer. Discussion, Mr. Kellogg.
Thank you. So these are somewhat unique in that the job descriptions that we're asking that they replace are considerably older than you typically see, which is why we did not redline them due to the volume of changes as well here. This is a topic that's been worked on for quite some time. This actually dates back to even when Mr. Brown was here helping out in HR. There were some changes over time in the library in terms of the job responsibilities of these three positions. It appears to me that while there may have been some attempts to revise the job descriptions and perhaps what was being followed operationally, we wanted to formally review these because there was ongoing conversation about what the correct job descriptions were and what they should reflect. In our research, the version that was most recently approved properly by council was this older one that you have in your packet. So that's the proper one to be updated. So there's been, as I said, considerable work to try and get these back up to what is contemporaneously being done and operationally being done. These job descriptions were looked at not just by HR, but by the former library director who did a lot of work in this area prior to her departure. So the other piece of this is that there was considerable discussion with the union in regards to these three as well, because this was a concern. These three positions in particular were a concern of theirs as well in terms of what the job responsibilities were and wanting to make sure that we were all on the same page and had clarity. So I'm pleased to say that while this obviously, again, while I know that they were working under different documents to properly get the correct job descriptions current reflective of what is actually being done and to have a common understanding, again, with the unions as well, is important. And so I'm really pleased that we're finally able to present these. Again, an awful lot of work was done to get to this point. If you have any questions, happy to answer. I know our HR director is here as well, and I know our new library director is, I believe, remote. Nicole is remote, although give her a pass on this one because she inherited this problem. So
Thank you very much, Mr. Kellogg. Is there any other discussion on Resolution 21-130? Hearing none, I'm going to call a vote on this item. The motion on the table is to approve Resolution 21-130. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 And all those opposed, please say nay. Hearing no nays, this motion passes 6-0. Resolution 21-131. Consider and act upon a resolution regarding AO and Company LLC Auditor Engagement Letter. Madam Vice Chair.
I move that the town council adopt resolution 21-131. Resolved that Kenneth M. Kellogg, first selectman of the town of Monroe, is authorized to execute and deliver on behalf of the town of Monroe the auditor engagement letter and any associated documents by and between AO and Company LLC for auditing services.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Donaldin Wales. Discussion, Mr. First Selectman.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. So as you know from not just my cover letter, but the a memo that I included from Kurt Anderson, who's obviously also here with us via the GoToMeeting. M&R is, has received significant funding from the Corporation of Public Broadcasting. We are looking to conduct a financial audit specific to WM&R in order to continue eligibility for funding under that grant. So Mr. Anderson has provided me with that, as well as securing the opportunity to do the services from AO and Company. The agreement was reviewed by the town attorney, who did incorporate who did have some changes incorporated. I want to make sure I called to your attention the revised agreement that was sent out earlier today and was handed out hard copy. There was an earlier version that was inadvertently included in your original package. So this is the correct version that the town attorney has recommended for presentment to council. With that, unless you have any questions, obviously, again, Kurt is online as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. First Selectman. Are there any questions regarding this item? Any other discussion? Hearing no other discussion, I'm going to call for a vote on the adoption of Resolution 21-131. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those against, please say nay. Hearing no nays, this motion passes 6-0. Given that there are no unfinished items of unfinished business and no unfinished items of new business, there is no second public participation this evening. I am adjourning this meeting at 8:45 p.m. Thank you very much.